welcome to issue 8 of Dragon Magazine, the Dragon Magazine as we call it. Volume 2, number 2 on the cover, but as we know, the page numbering... Actually, there's this one, the page number? Yeah, Volume 1, number 8 it says, so who knows? We don't know. I don't know why they bothered doing that.
It says number 8 next to the dragon.
Oh, it does, yeah. Odd.
Mm.
Yes, this cover by Bill Hannon, a wizard. It's. I think this is from inside. There's a short story. Short. It's an operative word about the Finzer family. I assume this is the modern mage from that story.
Yeah.
The Finzer family: A Tale of Modern Magic by Harry O. Fisher. It's right on the cover. I should have known that. July 8th, 77. Oh, I should say I'm Rob.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Chopper.
Yeah, I forgot to say that. Yeah, still $1.50. And what do you guys think about this cover? I'm sorry, you guys. I think you mentioned it earlier, but maybe not on camera.
He looks like Edgar Allan Poe.
Jack, do you agree with that?
I would say I'd be hypocritical to say otherwise.
Nice. There's Hippogriff on the cover. He holds his wand a little odd, but that's all right. To have something long and I'm gonna hold my wand. I gotta show my fingers. It's an odd way to hold a wand.
That's how he holds a pencil too. So.
Yeah, held up.
Ooh, back scratcher.
I was trying to hide that part.
Otherwise, what we think was a giant spoon. Pat just has a giant spoon next to his desk.
Well, I was making pasta as we recorded this.
I thought that's what you eat your cereal with. Yeah. So targets articles.
This is a hit podcast.
I'm gonna start because I'm egotistical.
That makes you an egotist by your own definition. You've just hoisted your own petard on that one.
Because it's a really quick one. It's Dragon Rumbles. He's Timothy Cask is very excited about issue 11 for some reason. That's all he talks about. This isn't issue 11 there, Tim. This is only issue 8. Please talk about this issue. So that's all I'd say. Patrick, why don't you go first?
All right, so I am going to choose an ad.
Oh.
And this ad, I don't know why it struck me and made me curious that I wanted to learn more about it.
Tell me the page at least.
Number 2.
Okay.
2. Did you even read this one? Did you just happen to scroll down when we started the recording?
And it's Star Empires.
Yes.
I was reading it and it just seemed kind of cool. It was like a generic set of rules for space combat in general. So I was curious to learn more about it. So I kind of dug into it and I couldn't find much about it. So then I was thinking, I wonder if any copies still laying around. So I went to eBay and searched. And there was 4 or 5 and they were fairly expensive. Like we're talking... The cheapest I saw was $90 at Noble Knight Games.
Nope.
Without the hex map. What I thought was cool is that the stuff I did find is you got the rules, you got a hex map, and you got a set of blank chits. Because again, I think these are chit counter rule games.
Did you say $9 or $90?
90.
Oh, I thought you said $9. I'm like, that's cheap. What are you talking about?
No, if it was $9, I would have bought that.
Oh, so I was like, it was $5.50 when it came out.
I wouldn't have much. As I continue with the story, if it was $9, I wouldn't have as much shame as I have right now.
Did you buy it?
So, so the original says you got the rule booklet, you got the hex map, and you got blank chits so you can put your ships on it. Is what I could glean from what I could find on the internet. So I was kind of mussing around again on eBay while I was still trying to figure out more about this thing. And then I found one for sale. The guy was listing it for $150 or best offer. So I said, all right, I'm going to make some kind of ridiculous offer and see if he takes it. And I made a ridiculous offer. I'm not going to say how much I did, but it was less than 90, but more than 9.
That's not bad, though.
And he accepted, and I was like, oh, shit. All right. So that came in the mail today. I haven't opened it.
Nice. So you have Star Empires.
So
This magazine might cost you a lot of money if you're going to start buying everything we find.
it hits me and that nostalgia. But you know me, I've been buying my childhood games now for the last 4 or 5 years, which is why my basement looks like a frickin'
Dragon Horde. It's the Dragon Horde.
So
you did blow up my spot because I didn't want to announce it right now, but I bought Imperial Dragon.
You did
did
not.
you? You did not.
No, I didn't.
Because if you did, that would have been awesome.
Now I'm curious if Imperial Dragon's for sale on eBay.
No.
So I'm very excited to read these rules because maybe it's something we can even mess around with all these 3D print starships that we can make.
Oh,
and convert it from a chit game into a.
Rob's got Babylon 5 ships.
Yeah.
You've got Battlestar Galactica ships.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot of broken relationships. So we could really just, we could really.
Yeah. I don't know how we're going to get those relationships on stands, but we'll figure that out. So, all right, Jack, I'll take over for Rob. Why don't you tell us what you got while Rob is looking up for Imperial Dragon?
Well, I was going to
I don't remember who made
mention
this
because it does look, and don't get me wrong, this is going to be a wild pull. In the ad, the one ship does look like the Lex from the show of the same name.
Did they get that from this?
I don't know. And the thing that is sending a steady stream towards it. Yeah, so I was going to
that
make
fits
fun
right
of
in with
this.
Lex.
Yes, if you know what the show Lex is, it would make a lot of sense why that becomes what it is. But I'm not gonna trash talk the game that we are going to play with 3D printed models.
It's true.
Yeah. So I will go to what I'm actually going to mention. We're going to go to page 25. We're going to jump to page 25, make Rob work for a living, do his thing.
My scroll fingers bursted.
My poor fingers.
Okay.
Have to get through that vast amount of...
Is it a featured creature?
It is the creature feature again, but it's not. It is a featured creature. See?
Oh, you have to name it.
Now, I've seen that picture before. You've seen that picture before. I don't know where I've seen it, but this is not the first time that I've seen this picture.
It looks
so
like
eventually it becomes something. Like I'm thinking maybe a pit fiend or something in like the monster manual eventually.
Oh, I bet you it's one of those numbered demons in the monster manual.
It could be, but it's for a like a contest of sorts. The artist drew it. You send in your name. It's by mail.
Stat it out.
And so I am curious to see what happens because I have seen that picture before. I remember distinctly seeing that picture before. So that is name that monster in the featured creature.
All right. I named it.
Yeah, so in future episodes, I'm looking forward. I think they must, if it's a 2-month thing, that must be the next episode or...
Yeah, we'll see if they go back to it.
Yeah.
Could be one of those things that just disappears into the ether.
Yeah.
So my first article, my real article, is The Planes and Concepts of Spatial, Temporal, and Physical Relationships in D&D. Page 4 by Gary Gygax.
I'll piggyback on you.
This one is crazy because Gygax is a nut job, but he kind of explains his planes of existence, which I'm not sure if he's explained before. Was that in the original books? I'm not sure, but has a. Do you think it was, Pat?
The original books? I don't know if it was original books.
That's what I mean. Like is this the first thing?
This is a template again that you actually see this in this diagram.
Yeah.
I think it's in the Deities and Demigods book.
But it's all about all the different planes and how weapons work in different planes of existence. It's very convoluted.
The oval, I think, is in the DM's guide. The outer higher planes and lower planes are in the Deities and Demigods. So,
let me just say, looking at that map, does that not remind you very much of Talisman?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
It looks just like Talisman's map. Did GW again steal stuff from Dragon Magazine? I
They
think they're
stole
just
it.
going through the old magazines going, yeah, we could use that. Let's make a game out of that. It's even got the same number of spaces, I believe, as the Taliesin thing. So
No, it's 5.
No,
It's 6. It's 6
half
on the
of
long
them.
way. It's
Yeah.
6. It's 6 all the way around.
is it?
Yeah.
Anyways, point is they stole it.
Yes, and my question, I had the same question. This is a very high concept. Like this is pretty advanced for what even the red box. Like even for the red box,
Yeah,
it's
so I thought.
wildly beyond what it.
Yeah. I think this
So-
comes back in AD&D, not in the basic sets.
That's what it seems
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
me. Yeah.
Uh,
And he goes on about that for sure. I'm trying to find it actually goes to a different page. I just can't find the page because it doesn't tell you what page it goes to. Good one.
20,
Good
28.
One. Is it
does.
28?
It says continue on page 28.
Yeah, so he goes into just all the different planes. But yeah, I was wondering if that was the first time that was addressed, and that'd be very interesting if it is. But once again,
I think it would because the chart looks like it was colored by crayon.
yeah. So yeah, that was my second one there. My first one I get, well, second one because they did Dragon Rumbles. Pat,
I do
you got
like the
another one?
fact that, well, just to stay on this for a second, I do like the fact that it included all the different heavens with the different religions and pantheons and all that other stuff.
Yeah, he even
Inclu-
mentions like all the ones that are like legit from the game, like all the seventh hell or what is it, all those things.
Yeah.
Like he's yeah, I was impressed. Anyways.
Well, the Happy Hunting Grounds, I think, is in there, and the Elysium and all that other stuff you see in the different pantheons. So I think he actually put a lot of thought in this Outer Planes thing. So even to the point how to travel, he talks about how you travel from plane to plane by putting the astral plane connecting every one of those things.
Yeah, so you have to go through the astral plane to get there anywhere.
Yeah. So, all right. So then, I guess would be my last article. Then is, I don't know, page 5. Oh, I didn't go very far, did I?
Development of towns.
No, it's another article.
Oh.
So this one I saw this and it kind of brought back a lot of memories. So it's the Last Grenadier. So this is one of the biggest stores in Southern California back in the D&D thing. So this is what, 77? I went to visit this store in 87.
10 years later, yeah.
10 years later, and it was still around. And I did some looking into it. It was one of the first stores I went to, D&D stores, when I went to college in California. And I was like, oh, remember seeing these in the Dragon magazine, so let's take a drive down there. I went down there, visited. It was a good store. It had all the magazines, all the Dragon magazines, the figs, the books, and everything. And it was probably one of the biggest stores outside of the dungeon that I've ever been into at that point in my life. And I think up until 2013, that store was around when it finally closed, and I think it died a slow death. After reading some reviews of the stores, it got down to being in a smaller storefront with just like everything in this heeble, those little cardboard, like open-faced comic book rack kind of things. In disarray order, nothing organized. So I'm glad I didn't see it in that iteration because it would have really bummed me out after remembering it from its grandeur and part of my nerd growing up. You know what I'm saying?
You remember it in its heyday rather than with the mothball, moth-eaten.
And it's tied to this magazine because I saw the ad in the magazine. Of course, later on, not this particular ad itself, but the fact that this ad was here in the 77 made me think, oh, yeah, this is the store I went to when I first moved out to California. I didn't have my gaming buddies with me anymore. I met one dude who became a good friend of mine, who was also a nerdy guy in the dorms, and then we talked about going down there one day, and I gave him money for gas, and we went down because I didn't have a car in college, at least my freshman year. So I wanted to point that out. And it was one of the first stores where they had tables out where you come in and just play games. So it was nice to see the ad, and it brought back some nice memories.
Neat.
It was if you wanted to picture it in a sense like having everything, it was like the game store here, like Games Plus, except for it had way more space and just a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's
Which at the time it would have been, a little niche thing to begin with. So to be able to just see all that stuff,
yeah.
you
I
wouldn't
said
be able to do that too many places.
No,
over
not at all.
over 10,000 wargame figures in stock. So they had like this says complete fantasy line. So they pretty much had every available miniature there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So it was good.
Cool. Jack, what's your next one?
Well, we're gonna not have to move too much because it is the development of towns in D&D.
I won't scroll at all.
Page 5. You just raise your eyes a little bit, yep. No boobs, eyes. No boobs, eyes.
Nice.
Just face. Development of towns, and the notes I made. It makes sense considering the time. It wasn't a role playing that we know today. Basically, you would be just dungeon diving. Like it was the dungeon crawl. You would do that kind of stuff. And this basically says, hey, you can make the town part of the dungeon by interacting, being able to, do this, that, and the thing. And it was like this issue, not to spoil our rankings of the issues. That's now the thing we do. This one had a lot of great stuff in it, and this was actually just a well thought out, well written article that expanded the horizons of the game at the time by today's standards. It's archaic, but at the time it must have been like, oh yeah, well, we'd start in the town, do this, go to the blacksmith. It says how to populate a town or a village. It has like very common sense things, but at the time it must have been like wild. So,
And it also was the downfall of a coherent D&D campaign where everybody isn't just going to all the different shops buying stuff for the first like 4 sessions.
Oh yeah.
This
the
is
first
it.
the first time that happened, Tony Watson looked at his paper and went, "Oh,
What have I
you've
done?
ruined it all."
I've become Death, the Destroyer of Worlds.
Exactly. He's the Ozymandias of campaigns now.
Cool. My next one is on page 23, and it's a little another tongue-in-cheek one. So you want realism in D&D.
I saw that one too.
Pretty much it's somebody, Brian Bloom, is describing how you can roll your own stats or not even roll your own stats, how you determine your own stats in realism. So like strength, you have to go to the gym and military press and then divide the number of pounds you lifted by 10, and that's your strength rating. Your intelligence is your IQ divided by 10. Wisdom is, which is the funny one, is determine how much you've spent thinking about or working on D&D and subtract the result from 20, and that's your wisdom. So obviously the less time you think about D&D, the smarter you are. Dexterity, you run 440 yards and subtract your time in seconds from 80. Constitution, you have to go how many months you've gone without missing a day of school or work due to illness. And charisma, you have to see how many times you've been on TV or have your picture printed in a newspaper. And that's it. Multiply that by 2 and that's your charisma. So that's pretty funny to determine your own stats. Yeah, it's I think you could get some pretty accurate numbers there.
Yeah, the work thing would be rough because I only work 3 days a week, so I would have a constitution of 19.
No, but it's how much you think about D&D. How often
No,
do you think about...
constitution.
Oh, I thought it was wisdom. Oh, yeah. Oh,
because I have so many days off.
Yeah,
in a
but
month.
missed so much work. Yeah, because you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this joke is still around today. Like I guarantee you can some iteration of this joke, stat yourself, has been done like within the last 2 months. Like this is this is a comedy staple for role playing games. Like
When they
I
say
guarantee
military press, is that a bench press or is that
No,
over the
military
head?
press is over your head. Yep.
Over the head. All right.
So that's why, yeah, I was like, bench press. Oh, jeez, you have a huge stat, but yeah, over your head, that's hard. So, yeah, pretty funny. Pat, you got another one, or are you all
I
tapped
do.
out?
I do have one more, and it's the Gamma World one.
Uh,
The next page over.
Introduction to Gamer World.
Yeah, it was a nice little story, and seeing how they were trying to focus the world or get make the background of the world come alive before the game came out.
Yeah, because this is literally the beginning of Gamer World right here. And I believe last issue they mentioned that we're going to talk about a new game called Mutants. So I think that's the same game. They just changed the name between the last issue and this issue, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But Gamer World is a game that's kind of lasted. I think they're
It's out again.
Yeah,
It's
I
out.
think they're
It's been
redoing it. Right?
I think Wizard of the Coast do it, or did TSR? No, TSR still doesn't have it. They were going to bring back something else.
Yeah.
Star Frontiers before that.
Probably Metamorphosis Alpha.
No, they were going. I heard they were going to bring back Star Frontiers because I think that's the only license they still had left.
Yeah, they didn't sell off, but yeah, so Gamer World is back, but this is the beginning of you're seeing games that actually lasted, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So it was a nice little short story, and Gamma World is one of the games I played.
Oh, you actually played Gamer World?
Yeah,
I played Gamer World too. Yeah.
Did you? Post-apocalyptic, right?
Yeah. Post-apocalyptic, everything is not, what's the word I want, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's not technologically advanced anymore, but there is technology there. But everyone is
find old technology
regressed,
stuff.
and it's, I guess, in the sense, it's the next evolution of Metamorphosis Alpha.
Based more on Earth.
Yeah, where the world has destroyed itself, and people it's almost Thunder the Barbarian kind of a deal, where people are forgotten, and you can find old laser guns that still work, but you have to figure out how to use them or find a way to power them up, kind of a thing. Plus, there's a lot of radiation, so you could actually mutate or start off as a mutant.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like the next iteration of Metamorphosis Alpha. I wonder if that's how it was based, or if it's just, hey.
We have to see who wrote Gamma World originally, I guess, right?
Well, it's all TSR, right? Same company, so I assume that maybe they're like, Metamorphosis Alpha isn't selling, let's rebrand it and put it on Earth. Do you think that's kind of what it was?
I don't know. We'd have to see who, like I said, who wrote it, I guess.
I'm almost sure that Gary Gygax did Gamer World, but I'm not 100%. Are you looking it up, Pat?
I kind of am, yeah.
Okay. I did have another thing. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Gamer World. Well, maybe that was the other thing. There's as always, there has to be a new TSR game other than Gamer World. There's something called Suspicion, which which I wonder, is that it's an adult mystery game, 3 to 6 players. Is that like the murder mysteries kind of things? I bet they're around before this. This is just a codified version.
It looked like it, because the ad has the guy sprawled out,
Who did Metamorphosis Alpha? It was James Ward, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, he did Gamma World.
So there you go. So it is the next iteration of the same.
Yeah, and it literally says it borrowed heavily from Ward's earlier game, Metamorphosis Alpha.
There you go.
And Sword and Sorcery Studios is releasing the 2nd edition, or released the 6th edition. There's a 7th edition, and it doesn't say who released that.
Not sure.
Oh, Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, there you go. So I think the other people probably licensed it from Wizards of the Coast. So.
Yeah, so that was the last release, was Wizards of the Coast 7th edition, 2010.
Yeah. I think I did read something about it coming out again soon, though. Either kickstarting or something. Jack, do you got any other ones to talk about?
If we're going on to ads, then I do have an ad that I want to bring everyone's attention to.
What page is that on?
That is on page 24.
Oh, not too far. Okay.
And if you're scrolling down, it's from Fantasy Forge, and you can see the top row.
No, the Fantasy Forge. This isn't an ad. This is an actual article.
Okay, well,
They
I
review
just want you
miniatures in
to,
this one. Yeah.
yeah, I just want you to look at the angel at the top. There's a coxswackle. The second row down. If anyone can tell me what those are other than a failed 3D print,
I
I
know what
don't
they are
know.
because I read the article, but
I'm,
yeah,
I haven't read the article, but I'm going to guess.
sure.
The far right, the last one, is a fire elemental, air elemental. I would guess water elemental and earth elemental.
Only because of the fire one, you got on the elemental thing, but they don't look like anything. They look like blobs.
Well,
And this is the one that has
you,
the girl
if you
miniature.
look at the air elemental, that is the Grenadier model air elemental, I think.
Yeah, that's what these are, I think. Rao Partha, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
Uh,
But
yeah, this is
that's
the one
the
that
only
has
reason why I guessed elemental.
This is the one that has Rao Partha's female miniature, and it says, first to recognize a large number of lady D&Ders. That's the female one I was talking about in a previous episode.
Hmm.
Yeah, these are elementals from Grenadier, yep. Earth,
Yeah.
But then,
water, wind, and
because
fire.
I have that air elemental.
so other than looking like a sample of like scat you would pick up when you were tracking wildlife, I want you to just scroll down just a little bit to the bottom left and please, please feast your eyes on that.
The dragon?
Or the hippo. Or the dragon.
The rhino looks cool. That looks like it could be a Frenza painting. This dragon has 6 feet, 2 arms. He's holding a sword.
A fire
He's
sword.
pointing at someone.
This is Legions of the Petal Throne miniature.
Oh, God.
And boy, oh boy, I'm not going to say it is as bad as the Imperial Dragon, but I will say I'm on Imperial Dragon watch, and I'm putting this guy on notice. Like
100 millimeters tall to the horns and 135 millimeters long. And the
what
sword
I
itself
love-
is 50 millimeters.
What I love about this dragon, and now that Jack pointed it out, is that I don't think he's pointing. I think he's flipping people off.
maybe,
It's his middle finger.
Yeah.
but
He's like-
it looks
He's
like
like he's F you, I'm a dragon.
And
With
what's
a
with the
sword.
tail just sitting straight out? Why couldn't you curl that a bit or something?
Well, maybe he's lazy.
He
He's
looks
got
like
kind
a
of
boat. Does he
he's
look
got
like a
kind of
boat?
a pot belly.
I think it looks like a boat. It's like a sail, and
It looks like his wings are backwards, I'll be honest with you.
he's weird.
my impression is this is what 90% of cryptid pictures of people standing on a beach over something looks like. Like clearly none of it looks natural. None of it looks even remotely like it should. And you're supposed to believe it's something that you would existed. No, but I'm putting him on watch. He's not the Imperial Dragon. He will not take his place. So that's my choice.
Yeah, he's unique.
Yeah.
Any other articles or anything you'd like to talk about, Patrick?
No, I think we talked quite a bit on this one, actually.
Yeah.
I think we did. We found some tidbits. Like Jack said,
I,
I think they're getting better. These
This issue I enjoyed.
magazines.
I will say that the last page is funny because it says this space is for sale.
Yeah, it said the last issue too. Yeah, they're trying to get some more ads for sure.
I can't wait to open my box shame.
It's not a box of shame. That's a box of glory.
I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah. So next time we'll have a more report on Pat's
Star
boxy bot.
Empires.
Yep. And
Star Empires.
we'll be back with issue number 9 next week. Until then, I've been Rob.
I'm Jack.
Ivan Chopper.
We'll see you then. Go Star Empires.
Bye.
Star Empires?
Bye-bye.
Star Empires.
There you go. It's his catchphrase.